It is no joke that for generations across Tamil Nadu, it's a dream come true to see Ponniyin Selvan materialize on the big screen. This is not only because of the stories passed through generations and the characters and their glorious history and personalities that have been spoken about for decades, but because it comes as a breath of fresh air beyond Tamil Nadu, where a film doesn't talk about just the Rajput, Maratha or Mughal kingdoms and focuses on the expansive influence that the Chola kingdom had in India and beyond. For those who need any context, I had become slightly obsessed with the written material of Ponniyin Selvan, everything from the English translation by C.V. Karthik Narayanan to the audiobooks narrated by Amit Bhargav on Spotify. One could imagine the visuals while reading and listening to the brilliant descriptions of the journey of Vandiyathevan, the conquest of Aditya Karikalan, and the plan hatched by Nandini. While most people talk about the lack of hype that surrounds part 2 of Ponniyin Selvan, we're now going to assess why that is the case, and I will briefly touch upon in my review why I believe people in the Northern Belt have disconnected or are not as excited as one would presume. Irrespective, it truly is a momentous occasion for not only avid Tamil cinema fans to finally see the conclusion of this saga, but for Mani Ratnam to finally make his dream project come true on the big screen. We follow the journey of Vandiyathevan in part 1. The conspiracy hatched against the Chola kingdom was looming around the corner. Aditya Karikalan still deals with the demons that haunt him regarding Nandini and the torrid history that they share, while the Pandyas are constantly eyeing the best opportunity to decimate the illustrious kingdom. While Vandiyathevan went from Aditya Karikalan to Kundavai and to eventually Arunmudi Varman in Sri Lanka, delivering messages and making the children of the Chola Empire cautious of every threat, we conclude part 1 of Ponniyin Selvan with Vandiyathevan and Ponniyin Selvan drowning in the sea as the ship gets tarnished by the storm and the Pandyan assassins, and a visual of an elderly woman swimming in the sea, presumably to rescue both of them. The news spreads to Aditya Karikalan and Kundavai of their assumed death, and the retaliation that follows is where the journey of part 2 commences. Aditya Karikalan is full of rage, thinking that Nandini is behind all of this. Kundavai, putting her political mind to good use, cautions the brothers of each move. The Chola kingdom and the aspiration of Madurantakan to take the throne gains even more momentum, and more importantly, Nandini, being the master conspirator of it all, absolutely consumed by only one goal: vengeance. Does part 2 really promise an exhilarating and exciting ride? Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of Ponniyin Selvan 2 so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theaters or not. The underwhelming aspects: choppy action set pieces and camera choices. I had complained about this feature in part 1, and this stays true with part 2 as the film has been shot in one stretch versus taking into consideration what may have gone wrong in part 1. But the action set pieces in this film are abruptly choreographed and edited. For sequences of combat that especially focus on Vandiyathevan and Arunmudi Varman, there was a huge scope and possibility to really extract some exhilarating moments of battle, but the final product is less to do with poor choreography, but is more the case the way the sequences are edited. One is force-fed far too many jump cuts where the blows of impact change the POV in quick succession, and this never fully immerses you to be in awe of the moments of combat. This is true for most of the battles of Vandiyathevan and Ponniyin Selvan, and the ultimate war in the second half as well. The other technical aspects that might slightly be uncomfortable for you are the choices Mani Ratnam makes in capturing interactions between characters. You might get slightly dizzy as the director is adamant to having a rotating shot as the drama unfolds. The rotating camera effect does border on being done too much, and I wonder why the choice is made while the actors are putting forth such exceptional performances. It's far too condensed and is ideal as a series. Everyone will bring this point up, and rightfully so. The only point is that this does not come up with the case of discrediting what the film has achieved in two parts, but just the case that the material would have a far-reaching audience in a format of a web series across seasons versus being condensed the way it is across two parts. When one thinks about India's answer to Game of Thrones, one could not create a better parallel than how Ponniyin Selvan would have translated so beautifully in the form of a series. The sheer expansive nature of the text, the volume of characters and the motivations that need to be established, all of this becomes far too overwhelming for a viewer who is just getting introduced to this world through the film. While one clearly has an upper hand in knowing the text beforehand and is well versed with the intention of characters and where the story is headed, I would totally understand why people who are newbies to the Chola kingdom and the unsaid animosity and tension that surrounds Aditya Karikalan and Nandini, finding it simply tough to keep up. I hope for the day where the Indian market can really pitch a series like that of the scale where it gives HBO a run for their money, but I guess we can only hope and wish at this point. The good. Production design, cinematography, and background score. Most of the songs of Ponniyin Selvan were for the world building and setup that was done in the first part, and A.R. Rahman's work in part 2 is mostly restricted to the score that contributes to the screenplay of the film, and I have to say that it perfectly elevates the story. The drums before an impending attack, the operatic voice as Nandini appears, the warlike chants as one anticipates a surprise. A.R. Rahman and his contribution in the film really does help in making this truly a spectacle, and where one thought that the screenplay in PS1 had several patches that would slow down the film, this is not the case at all with PS2, despite having a running time of 2 hours and 44 minutes. The production design, costumes, and the sheer scale at which this film has been produced really does make it the big screen experience we all crave for in 2023. Some of the frames captured by Ravi Varman will truly leave you mesmerized, especially the sequences between Vikram and Aishwarya Rai and the frame of battle where Arunmozhi Varman drops on one knee with his sword. It is also a key indicator of the beauty of films when shot mostly in real locations. The performances and ideal casting. It is absolutely no joke that Mani Ratnam has got the casting of this film on point. It's crazy that if you ask people who are well versed with the text on the personality and character traits of Vandiyathevan, I cannot tell you how accurately and beautifully Karthi has portrayed this role. There is a cheekiness and playful nature that he brings to the character, constantly drawn to the beautiful women around him while still being laser focused at the task at hand. The pitch of his performance and the shift of tone when danger looms around the corner really is something to marvel at. His comedic chemistry with Nambi, played by Jairam, is delightful, and even while bordering on making jokes when his life is on the line, his loyalty never gets wavered. I think the core essence of why part 1 was so enjoyable has a lot to do with Karthi leading the charge with such confidence, and it's no different in part 2. There is an understated presence of Jayam Ravi as Arunmozhi Varman. He has a towering presence but has this calm, beast-like energy that is ready and willing to burst the moment it's required. This is a very interesting casting decision that I feel in hindsight works so well for the film. Trisha as Kundavai also stands out, having a confidence and intellect, understanding the conspirators and their intentions while trying to keep the family together. But if you ask me personally, or what becomes the core of Ponniyin Selvan 2, it is the tumultuous relationship of Aditya Karikalan and Nandini, portrayed by Vikram and Aishwarya Rai respectively. While the film fan within me would love a story where Vikram and Aishwarya can just chill and have a happy romantic ending, there is so much that is unsaid and unresolved between the two characters, and it comes to life on the big screen. Aishwarya as Nandini and her big expressive eyes full of rage and only having one goal in mind, almost ready to crumble at the sight of empathy and love when Karikalan is in front of her. This constant tug of the brain versus the heart really accounts for such a dramatic and effective moment in the film. It pays off and is so worth it when they both meet. And this made me think about the criticism that the film received before. Misplaced hatred and Mani Ratnam. The film, for the hype surrounding it and the success of movies like KGF and RRR, constantly gets compared to other pan-Indian films and not delivering the mass action extravaganza they received from those films. But you quickly realize that Ponniyin Selvan was never meant to be that. It was essentially a film where the core focus is the characters' relationships and the motivations that guide them to take drastic decisions, and Mani Ratnam excels in exploring and extracting some beautiful moments. The intimidating walk and introduction of Nandini, the beauty that everyone gets enchanted by, so much so that kings are willing to give up their kingdom for a slight glance. The memory that guides Nandini along the path of revenge. I cannot rave about Aishwarya Rai's magnetic screen presence in this film, coming to life in its full glory in part 2. The tough exterior that she places, Vandiyathevan looks at the rare sight of vulnerability and exclaims, "Even when you cry, your beauty shows." The undeniable chemistry between Kundavai and Vandiyathevan, showcased in an exceptional scene as the characters with each dialogue come closer to one another. The heartfelt reunion of siblings finding a way to just stay united amongst vultures frothing in the mouth for their demise. These human moments, moments of relationships being put to the test and persevering while knowing each other's demons and dark pasts. This is what makes Ponniyin Selvan so special. It's far more exciting, exhilarating and engaging than part 1, which essentially focused on world building and the introduction of characters. I could not recommend this film enough to you. And just a heads up, to those who are privy to the text, there will be a shock in the conclusion, and I'm sure it's going to be a talking topic for days to come, as Mani Ratnam decided to change something which is definitely a brave move. Trust me, you won't be disappointed watching this one. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Ponniyin Selvan 2. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.